How is it that it took me 2 years to make my first $3 online, but then I ended up creating a seven-figure business in literally 8 months? Well, the difference is these four biblical strategies that I started using to actually compress time. You see, most Christians think that biblical wealth is all about growing slow and steady, and that that's the godly way. But what if that is a huge misinterpretation? You see, most Christians take Proverbs 13:11 that says wealth gained hastily will dwindle and use it as an excuse to take forever. But that verse isn't about speed, it's about method. It is warning against get rich quick schemes, the scheming being the key word, the dishonesty, the gambling, the cutting corners. It's not telling you to waste years doing what could be done in months. Because here's what nobody talks about is every month that you stay broke, every month that you stay stuck, every month that you are out of alignment with your assignment, someone else isn't getting what they need from you because you think that you taking a long time to get where you need to go is only impacting you when it's impacting everybody who is waiting on you to get there, when it is impacting all the people who need to eat from the tree that you have yet to put in the ground, that you have yet to water and nourish to the point where it can produce fruit. Because your breakthrough is not just for you, it's to break down walls in the other areas and realms that God has put you in and to break through things for the people around you. The client who needs your coaching, who needs your course, who needs your product, they're struggling right now because you don't have it in the marketplace. The family that you could provide for, they need that provision today. Your kids need it to get into college. Your parents need it to help them to be able to retire and to be able to enjoy life. The people who are positioned around you who you could be able to help if you were walking in obedience, but instead you have been walking in delay and thinking that it's humility and it's honoring God when it's really disobedience. So today, I'm going to give you four biblical methods that are going to help you to make money faster because you taking your time to get around the mountain ain't helping nobody but the enemy. Okay. So let's get right into it. Method number one, you need to leverage your talent and do not hear me clearly because so many of you think you're doing this and you're actually not. You see, this is the foundation. It's that you will always make money faster when you're working in your gifting instead of against it. You will never make more money in this world more quickly than doing the thing that you were uniquely equipped and designed to do. So I'm gonna tell you what a lot of y'all do because I've worked with thousands of clients. I'm gonna tell you what I see. You look at somebody who's succeeding in coaching and you say, maybe I should coach, even though you don't even like one-on-one conversations. You look at somebody who has a successful physical product business and you hate dealing with physical products. You hate dealing with supply and shipping and inventory, and you don't even care about the product that you're using, but you're just thinking, well, because somebody else is doing it and they're making money, then I should do it. What you're doing is you're slowing yourself down. What you're doing is you are creating friction for yourself where there isn't has to be. And I always say I wish people could see themselves as animals because I think we would get so much further if we could see ourselves with that level of clarity. And if you could see that you could look at your form and you could say, hey, I have talons. I have wings with a huge, large wingspan. I have a beak. And you would maybe be able to then deduce, hey, I think maybe I should fly. I think that might be the thing that God has created me to do. But instead, you take your bird self that's supposed to be in the air, soaring around, that has vision and direction, that can see things that other people can't see, that can attack with precision once you get your eyes locked, and you dive straight into the ocean. Why? Because you saw a shark and you said, oh my gosh, that shark, they look so cool in the water and they're flying, they're moving around and they're going through and they're gliding. And so you take your bird self and you dive into an ocean and you wonder why you're struggling. You wonder why it's difficult for you to swim. You weren't designed to. You don't have gills. You don't have the infrastructure to be able to do it. And so even if you do the work, you get a shark mentor, you go through all the process of building some sort of contraption that's going to enable you to breathe underwater, and you go through a gill facilitation program and learn proper breathing techniques, you are never going to be able to outswim a shark. Because that's what the shark was designed to do. And so now we have lost the gift that you really were supposed to bring to the table of that vision and insight of being able to fly. And in addition to that, we have only gained a mediocre imitation of a shark. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Put in the comments if this is light bulbing for you. You see, when people do this, they pick their businesses speculatively. You look out there and think that out there is going to determine what you should do instead of starting with in here, instead of starting with what is it that God has designed me to do? What are my natural gifts? What are my talents? What are the things that I notice that other people don't? What are the things that come easily to me that are difficult to other people? You see, this was what happened to me. I tried everything. I tried drop shipping. I tried affiliate marketing. I tried physical products. I tried blogging. And every time it felt like I was pushing a boulder uphill. Everything was so hard and everything took forever. And then when I asked myself that question, it changed everything for me. I asked, what do I do so naturally that people have always asked me for help with it? What are the things that come easily to me? And the answer for me was I was great with strategy. I was great with teaching. I was great with communication, with simplifying complex ideas. And I love dropping things off. I'm not a babysitter. I don't like doing coaching. I don't like memberships and communities and things that have to upkeep regularly. I get obsessed with something I can talk about, and then I want to drop it off when I move on. And so course creation was perfect for me. I wanted time freedom to be able to work 5 hours a week and have relatively passive income because I like exploring, I like adventuring. That's where I get my best work from. I wanted location freedom so that I could travel and work from anywhere in the world because I do not sit still. And I wanted financial freedom that I could be able to make money leveraging my time, which we're going to get to later. But point being, I didn't look out there to decide what I should be doing. I looked within and said, God, what have you created me for? What have you given me? And I worked out of that. And then that is the business model that enabled me to literally create $1 million business in 8 months. I got on TikTok and was able to build 100,000 followers in 90 days. I turned this camera on and started on YouTube, bringing an audience from nowhere, and was able to, by the grace of God, get over 100,000 subscribers in 1 year. And people ask me how I do it, and I share how I do it. I have all of it in the course. And those are the methods. But the truth is that the advantage that I had is that I have a degree in yapping that was given to me by the Lord. Okay. And so you have a degree in something too. You have a seed as well. And you just need to be able to identify that seed and start cultivating it. And that is where you're going to see the most fruit. And when you do this, you're going to move faster because you're naturally good at it. So you're going to enjoy it and you're going to produce better work. And then who doesn't like doing something they're good at? You're just going to keep doing it, right? And then people can feel your authenticity. So they're going to buy faster from you. And so ask yourself 3 questions. What do people always ask me for help with? What do I do that feels easy to me but hard for others? And what activities make me feel alive and energized? And the intersection of those answers, that is going to be how you monetize. And here's the key. If you've been doing something for a very long time, you've done all the stuff, you've followed the directions perfectly, and you still have not had success, I want you to stop and ask yourself, am I truly working within my gifting, or am I trying to force something that was never mine to carry? Because you will always make money faster in your own lane. And here's the final truth I'm going to make on this statement. It's that you cannot outwork misalignment. If you are building a business outside of your gifting, no amount of hustle is going to make it faster or enjoyable for you. But when you're building within your gifting, it is like rowing downstream. You will still have to work, do not get me wrong, but the current will be rowing with you instead of against you. So leverage your talent. Stop trying to be someone else. Monetize who God made you to be, right? So the second method that's going to help you make money faster is to learn from someone else. And people give me pushback with this all the time. And I say, you don't have to fight with me. By the grace of God, I'm set. I done my work. All right. We are here living in the fruit of it. And I'm trying to help you get into where you need to be. And I'm telling you what has worked. You want to know how I got much faster? You want to know how I made 7 figures in 8 months? I purchased a coaching program from someone who had the life that I wanted to live, who did things that I wanted to do. And I learned from them and I implemented what they told me to do. You see, people think that by not investing that you're saving something. You're not saving anything. You are spending one of 2 currencies with everything you do in your life. You're either spending your time, you're either spending your money. And so if you're refusing to invest your money, then you're going to pay with your time. And that time is the one resource that you are never going to get back. And so there's a destination and you want to get there. You have 2 options. Option one, you can pay for that GPS. All right. The GPS, it's going to cost you something. Well, now it's free, but previously the GPS costs you something. It's going to tell you exactly where to turn. It's going to help you to avoid traffic. It's going to give you the fastest route. And it's going to cost you something, but you're going to get there in 2 hours. Versus you can choose option two. You don't have to pay for the GPS. You can go in blind, but you're going to get lost and you're going to take wrong turns and you're going to waste gas. And you're going to not only get there in 12 hours, but you've also wasted gas. And likely most of the time people spend more money figuring things out by themselves than they would have if they would have just purchased something that would have enabled them to be able to get there faster. So you've wasted all of this time. And the thing that people don't think about is you may feel like you have time, but who knows about the people around you? Who knows if somebody's going to get sick and there's going to be a medical procedure that is only available because it's experimental or it's elective and you would need money to do that now you don't have. Or the loved one, like by the grace of God, when my aunt passed away, I was able to be there. I was able to be there with her. I was able to help. I was able to fund the funeral when the insurance money did not come in on time and they were not going to be able to give her a proper funeral and burial. And that was not going to wait for me to figure it out. And And one of the most devastating stories from one of my students was they did figure it out. They did the work. They ended up making it. But after the person who they wanted to spend that time and that money with the most was already gone. And their number one regret was, I wish I would have started sooner, right? And so I used to be so stubborn about this. I used to be a DIY warrior. I used to think I was going to get some medal or badge of honor for doing it myself or figuring it out myself. And I did that for 2 years and got nothing. And the second that I hired a coach, it was just one session putting it together. And I saw everything that I had been doing wrong, all of the mixed sources and resources that were giving me the wrong thing. And here's the thing, you guys, again, these are biblical principles. Proverbs warns us about this. Proverbs 15:22 says, plans fail. Why do plans fail? Why? For lack of counsel. But with many advisors, they succeed. Your plans fail when you don't have counsel. Proverbs 11:14. For lack of guidance, a nation falls, but victory is won through many advisors. Proverbs 12:15. The way of a fool seems right to him, but the wise listen to advice. Again, Proverbs 19:20. Listen to advice and accept discipline. And at the end, you will be counted among the wise. And one more, Proverbs 20:18. Plans are established by seeking advice. So if you wage war, obtain guidance. And if you don't think building wealth is a war, you don't know. Go watch my other video, which is Wealth is Spiritual Warfare. It is a war, you guys. And so 5 different times, Proverbs, God tells us to get counsel. And yet Christians will say, I just trust God. The Holy Spirit's going to lead me. I don't need a coach. But God literally gave you coaches. He put people ahead of you for a reason. Ecclesiastes 4:9-10 says 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. And if either of them falls down, one can help the other up. And so when you learn from someone, this accelerates your income because without a mentor, you don't know what you don't know. You make expensive mistakes. You waste time on things that they already know don't work. You figure out through painful trial and error. And you have 2 to 5 years, sometimes longer, or never even reaching profitability. When you have an advisor, a mentor, a coach, a course, a book, I don't care what it is, but just something that's from someone who's done the thing that you're trying to do, you get to skip mistakes that they already made. You get the exact roadmap. You get to focus on only what works and iterating and learning that. You compress 5 years into 6 months and you can be profitable much faster. And you see, it's not about intelligence, it's about speed. And a terrible example of like this that I have clients come to me all the time is people who want to build online courses. That is what I do. And so many people will spend months creating it, filming it, editing it, perfecting it just to launch it and make no money from it because she built the entire thing and then sold it. She had no audience, she had no validation, and no way to know if anybody even wanted it. I have a very simple solution to this that I teach in my program, which is I have my students sell the program first before they created it. And they are able to save months. They're able to iterate. They're able to test and make sure that it's something people want to buy and get money in their pocket before they've even created a single lesson. But because she didn't hire a coach, because she didn't learn from someone, she had to learn the hard way. And that is the cost of not having counsel. You have to stop being cheap with your education. It is the highest ROI investment that you will ever make. Every month that you delay investing in learning is a month that you delay making money. And so if a $2,000 course gets you to make $10,000 a month 6 months faster, then you didn't spend $2,000. You made $60,000. And this week, I want you to be intentional about investing in one thing. Invest in a book, invest in that course that you have already been thinking about, invest in that coach or that mastermind. Stop saying I can't afford it and understand that you really can't afford not to. Now, the third method is you need to start solving expensive problems. Okay. If you want to make money faster, that is. Okay. So this is a method that I see change my clients' results in income overnight because the secret that most people miss is the more expensive the problem you solve, the fewer clients that you need in order to make more money. And then obviously you can get fewer clients a lot faster than you can get more clients. And so let me say it again for the people in the back, expensive problems needs fewer clients, therefore you can make more money, right? So most people are trying to solve $50 problems for 1,000 people, but wealthy people solve $10,000 problems for 10 people. Same revenue, way less work. Do you think it's easier to get 1,000 people or to get 10 people? You see, when I first started my business, I was in the race to the bottom. A lot of people think I need to be able to have it cheaper and I need to price everything as low as I possibly can in order to be successful. But if you're charging $97 for a course, then in order to make $10,000, you have to have 100 people buy. Do you know how hard it is for as a beginner you to get those type of eyes on you? But when you raise your prices, and I started offering high ticket coaching at that time for $5,000, I only needed 2 clients per month in order to make $10,000 a month. And guess what? It is way easier to get 2 people to pay $5,000 than it would be to get 103 people to pay 97. And don't even get me started with everybody out there who's doing the ebooks and the low ticket products, and you're selling the $7 and $17 products and wondering why it is taking you so long. It is literally just a math problem. You see, this is what I call the Solomon method, because this is what Solomon did. In 1 Kings 10, the Queen of Sheba traveled from far away and bought wealth to access Solomon's wisdom. She didn't pay $20 for a quick tip or a little quick win guide. She bought lavish gifts because the problem that she needed to solve was expensive. And so Solomon also wasn't solving just surface level problems, he was solving kingdom level problems, right? And he was compensated accordingly. You see, the Bible says that blessed are those who find wisdom, those who gain understanding, for she is more profitable than silver and yields better returns than gold. She is more precious than rubies, and nothing you desire can compare to her. Wisdom is more valuable than gold. So when you're selling wisdom, you can charge gold prices. And so this is the problem hierarchy and how you can think about this when it comes to figuring out what value your problems that you're solving are. So if you have $50 problems, those are going to be things that are very surface level, that are very easy for most people to be able to solve, and that have a very low urgency. Now, I want you to pay attention to that word urgency as well. When we're talking about more money, we want things that are more urgent. You have a $500 problem. So this is moderate pain, noticeable impact, and there's some urgency there, right? Then you have your $5,000 problems. Those are very high pain. You're going to have life-changing impact and high urgency, right? And then you have your $50,000 problems and up, which are business critical, multi-year impact, extreme urgency. And so the higher you go up on that ladder, the fewer clients you need. And I'm not saying you need to pop out tomorrow with a $10,000 offer. I get that that's a huge jump. I was not ready to do that at the time, but I started slowly testing and experimenting with higher priced offers until I got more comfortable and realized a lot of different things. I'll make a separate video on it at another point with pricing altogether, because I'm telling you, when people pay more, they pay attention and it helps you and them, right? So I want you to ask yourself, what problem are you currently helping people solve? And how much would that problem cost your client if they didn't solve it? And ask yourself, am I solving a $50 problem where I'm going to need tons of volume? Or am I solving a $5,000 problem where I need fewer clients and can charge premium pricing? You see, most people undercharge because they either don't understand the value of the problem that they're solving, or because they're solving small problems, right? And so what you want to do if you want to make money faster is stop trying to help everyone with everything. You need to pick one problem that people want urgently solved, solve it really well, and charge accordingly. People always ask me, well, how do you make $100,000 a month? It's just math. If I have an offer that is $2,000 and I am able to sell 50 of those per month, then I am making $100,000 a month. Crazy, right? And think about that. Do you think you could sell something to 50 people? That's not even 2 sales a day in order to do that. And so life-changing amounts of money are not far from you. The first month that I started with selling courses, I was able to make over $30,000 before I ever even created the first lesson. And that is because I understood these things. And if you want more specific on like business breakdown on how I'm able to create my courses, how I'm able to get customers in, how I was able to build audience on YouTube and TikTok and set everything up and be able to now make over $100,000 a month working just 5 hours a week, I explain everything in my free training that goes over the 3 steps that I use to create an online course so that I could quit my job, replace my income, and now give more to my church than I used to make in a single year, retire my parents, drive my dream car, a Range Rover, and to be able to help people and impact people while having a great living for myself and for generations that will come after me. Now, the fourth method is you have to build leveraged income. And this was the final switch for me that really catapulted my income into the stratosphere. And this is the method that will take you from surviving into thriving. Because here's the problem. If your income is bottlenecked by your time, then you will never be wealthy. You can only work so many hours. You can only take so many clients. You can only create so many hand created crafts, and you can only be in one place at a time. And so if you are trading your time for money, then there's always going to be a ceiling on how much you can make. But if you build leveraged income where you help many people with one effort, then there is no ceiling. And so when I first started, that first program that I bought that was profitable for me was a coaching program. And I started doing coaching because I saw other people were doing coaching. And so I said, let me give it a try. And I was exhausted. I was making good money, but I was working so much. I was doing sales calls. And I had a video that did well, and it was a nightmare because I was booked on a sales call or on a coaching call for my entire day. And my schedule was not a 9 to 5. I traded my 9 to 5 for a 24/7. And I literally had calls booked from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And I was on calls with no more than a 15-minute break in between each call. We were making great money, but I had no time and I had no freedom. And that's when I realized I'm only helping one person at a time. This will never scale. And that's when I realized instead of me doing these one on one coaching calls, and instead of me doing these one on one sales calls, what if I could build a system that would explain the offer for me so I don't have to keep repeating myself? And what if I built a program that would teach and take them through this exact transformation without them ever having to speak to me? And not only do I get my energy back and my time back, but they're able to now have a process that works that they can go through at their own pace. And we don't have to find this like time to meet. And so when I built that, suddenly instead of being able to help 10 or 20 people in a week, I was able to help 100 people in a week. And I was able to put that work up front to build the program and then with be able to 10x my income because I was able to now enroll hundreds of people in a single month when before I would never have been able to do that on my own. And that is leverage. And that's what I call in the Bible. We see this as the multiplication model, right? We see Jesus fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves and 2 fish, right? He didn't just feed them one at a time. He multiplied the loaves and he distributed to groups. We see in 2 Kings 4, verses 1 through 7, that the widow's oil multiplied as long as she had vessels. And so the limiting factor wasn't the oil, it was the containers. And so in your business, the containers are your delivery method. And so if you're doing one on one, if you're doing all these things that require for you to be the one to actually have to show up on live, to DM people or to do coaching calls or all these things where you have to be physically present, then that is always going to limit you. But if you build a course or a membership or a group program, now you have unlimited. And again, this is all just math. So you can see this with Coach A, who does one to one. If they charge $500 per session and can do 20 clients per week, they can make $10,000 a month, which is great. But now you're working 40 hours a week, which I don't know about you, but I didn't quit my job to sign up for another one. Versus person B, who does the one to many model and creates a course that's $500 and they sell 100 courses in a week. Well, now that person has been able to not only make $50,000 in one week, but in 10 hours because all they had to do was create the program. And then all you're doing to maintain it is literally just creating content that can take you as little as a few hours in a week. And so, same expertise, same ability to help and impact people, but with a different model that gives you 5 times the income in 1/4 of the time. And so ask yourself, what are the things that you are doing manually right now in one to one that you could be doing one to many? So if you're coaching, could you turn that into a group program or a course? If you're freelancing, could you turn that into templates or a done for you system? If you're doing consulting, could you turn that into a mastermind or a membership? And so give yourself opportunities to be able to package your knowledge once and to be able to sell it infinitely. And that's how you're going to make money so much faster. Because the truth is, if your business can't run without you, then you don't have a business, you have a job. And so you have to build leverage, build systems, and build assets. That is how you make money faster and keep making it. And for staying until the end, I'm going to give you a couple of bonus quick ones, okay? Outsourcing is going to help you make money faster. The Proverbs 31 woman did not do everything herself. That's only going to slow you down. She had servants. In Exodus 18:18, Moses' father-in-law told him, "You will surely wear yourself out. The work is too heavy for you. You cannot handle it alone." Outsource, delegate, and focus on only what you can do. Because I'm telling you, the time you're saying you don't have for your business is wrapped up somewhere in a task that you should be getting someone else to do. The second one is give more. You can give more. And the more that you allow yourself to be in a place of abundance, you will find that money comes back to you just as easily because the hand that is closed to give is also closed to receive. Another thing you can do to make money faster that nobody talks about is rest. This is people's biggest problem is thinking that hustling and grinding 24/7 is going to be what gets you success when really rest can be one of the most productive things that you can do. When you're constantly grinding, you create your own bottleneck. You see, Psalm 127:2 says, "In vain you rise early and stay up late, toiling for food to eat, for he grants sleep to those whom he loves." You see, God multiplies your 6 days when you honor the Sabbath, when you rest, and when you stop hustling and start trusting that he is the provider. And the last bonus I'll give you is proximity. Get in better rooms, right? In Ruth 2:3, it says, "As it turned out, she was working in a field belonging to Boaz." You see, that wasn't luck, it was divine positioning. Proverbs 13:20 says, "Walk with the wise and become wise." Your proximity can determine your opportunity. So get in rooms, get in communities, get in places with people who have what you want. Now, if you are interested in learning from me and you want to go through the program I have that teaches you how to leverage your talent, that gives you a system that follows all of these rules, which I told you, you want to know how I did it, how I built that 7-figure business in 8 months. This is my cheat code. And if you want the specific 3 steps that I use to be able to figure out what I was supposed to be doing and teaching and creating an online course, creating a system that enables me to now make passive income, have time freedom, financial freedom, location freedom, then you can check out that free training in the description. And remember, speed isn't unspiritual, all right? And that Proverbs 13:11 is warning against schemes. The faster you make money, the faster you can provide for your family, fund the kingdom of God, and to help the people who need you right now. So comment below, which of these 4 methods are you going to implement first, or one of the bonus ones? 1, leverage your talent for someone. 2, learn for someone else. 3, solve a more expensive problem. Or 4, build a leveraged income system, or maybe one of the bonus ones. Put it in the comments below. I'll be happy to read. And if this helped you, share it with someone who is stuck. Let's build wealth, let's fund the kingdom, and let's move fast. I'll see you on the next one.